Show and Mayor Olivia Chow, Consul General Lo Weidong, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests. First of all, before we begin the program, we must do our land acknowledgement. And well, there will be a film showing here, but we interviewed a number of people to create a film as part of this exhibit. And as my good friend Albert Wong reminded me when we were interviewing him that in 1788, when the Chinese first came to Canada in Nootka Sound, that they had first come in contact with the indigenous people, and it was the indigenous people that had helped the Chinese to acclimatize to Canada and, well, really be able to live in a foreign land. So for this, we, especially as Chinese Canadians, have much to be thankful for. That the land that we're standing on today is the traditional territory of many nations, including the Mississaugas of the Credit, the Anishinaabe, the Chippewa, the Haudenosaunee, and the Wendat peoples, and is home now to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples. We also acknowledge that Toronto is covered by Treaty 13, signed with the Mississaugas of the Credit, and the Williams Treaty, signed with multiple Mississaugas and Chippewa bands. So welcome to the East Coast launch of a very special exhibit, Eating Bitterness, the Canadian journey from exclusion to inclusion. My name is Justin Poy. I'll be your MC this evening, but I also had the pleasure of working with ACCT Foundation on this exhibit. And I can say that, you know, there's been an incredible amount of work put into this. When you start reading the information, the details, you'll see just how much detail there has been put into this. And also the coordination with the Cultural Center, Chinese Cultural Center of Greater Toronto. So don't be shy. How many people here, I'm not taking note, but how many people here actually had never heard of the Exclusion Act or the Chinese Immigration Act? How many people had heard about it, but they didn't know much about it? It's okay, you can admit it. Oh, really? Come on. There's no way. Okay, I should have done this anonymously. Oh, man. Listen, I actually didn't know much about it myself, but and I feel kind of embarrassed because my father and his sister and my grandparents were 4 of the 44 people, Chinese people, that were allowed into the country between 1923 and 1947. There were only 44 Chinese. Oh, Mayor Chow, hello. Yes. Well, you know what? It's, yeah, I know it's kind of weird that I didn't even know. I know, it's embarrassing. But yeah, so there were 44 Chinese allowed between 1923 and 1947 in that 24-year period. When they got here, though, 6 months later, they were about to be booted, but 6 months later, they repealed the Exclusion Act, so they were allowed to stay. But my speakers today are going to elaborate a lot more on all of this, on the details, what this exhibit means for Canada and for all our provinces and territories, for the Chinese Canadian community as a whole, and for every diverse group in Canada that has faced adversity and has overcome it through a combination of resilience, determination, and persistence. So before I call on my first guest, I would like to remind you, we have 3 books to give away. They're from Queen's University Press. They were actually written by my mother, Dr. Vivian Poy. It's called The Promised Land, and it's letters and documentation about the women who were left behind during the Exclusion Act. Because many people know that it was essentially a bachelor society. Men came over to work and could not bring their families, so that's what the book is about. So if you fill out or just drop your business card in the box at the front, then I'll do a draw at the end and we'll give away 3 books. All right, I would like to now introduce the chairman of the Chinese Cultural Center of Greater Toronto, Mr. Alan Lam, to say some welcoming remarks. Alan?
Well, thank you, Justin. Good evening, honored guests. It is my honor to welcome you and thank all of you for being here today to open a truly special exhibition, Eating Bitterness, the Canadian journey from exclusion to inclusion, funded by the Ministry of Education as part of the Asian Heritage Month projects. Tonight is the first national exhibition stopped in Canada East Coast and first event of our Asian Heritage Month event. Thank you for our organizer and cultural partner, ACCT, Action Chinese Canadian Foundation, to share their display with us tonight. And of course, Aim Star Capital Group Inc. for the sponsorship of the Toronto exhibition at CCC today for the whole month. This exhibition served as a poignant testament to the resiliency of the Chinese community in Canada. Through the compelling collection of photographs and artifacts, Eating Bitterness shed light on the trial and hardship faced by Chinese pioneers in Canada during the late 1800s and mid-1900s. It confronted the harsh reality of the head tax and the Canadian Exclusion Act of 1923, and the enduring impact these discriminatory policies had the countless families and the alliances. Tonight, let this exhibition remind us to be grateful for the sacrifice and the path that were paved by the pioneers so that we can be who are today in Canada. As we immerse ourselves in the stories and experience shown within these walls, let us reflect on the lesson of the past and renew our commitment to build a more inclusive and compassionate Canada for all. I extend my deepest gratitude to the Ministry of Education, Aim Star Capital Group Inc., and of course, ACCT Foundation for their generous sponsorship and unwavering support in bringing this exhibition to CCC as part of our Asian Heritage Month event. I'd like to invite you all to explore Eating Bitterness and to engage with the powerful narrative that lies within. Without further ado, I'd like to have Ms. Teresa Powell of ACCT to say a few words to us. Thank you.